Welcome to this lesson, a deeper exploration of Wilfred Owen's Exposure. While we have previously touched upon the overall narrative and the historical backdrop of World War I, today's focus will be on how Owen's intricate use of language and structured composition brings forth the harrowing themes of war and conflict. We'll begin by examining how Owen personifies the natural elements, portraying them as the relentless adversaries of the soldiers, such as in the poignant opening line. Following this, we will delve into the power of Owen's alliteration, which paints a vivid picture of the soldiers' grim experiences and the oppressive environment they face. Furthermore, we will explore the poem's rigid structure, comprising 8 stanzas, each meticulously formed with 5 lines, which mirrors the consistent suffering endured by the soldiers. Additionally, we will uncover the significance of Owen's use of ellipses, highlighting the perpetual and incomplete nature of the soldiers' torment. Let's begin. Wilfred Owen uses personification to convey the harshness and relentlessness of the natural elements, which are depicted as the true enemy of the soldiers. This is evident in the opening line of the poem, "Our brains ache in the merciless iced east winds that knive us." By describing the east winds as merciless and attributing to them the action of kniving the soldiers, Owen personifies the wind as a hostile force. This personification transforms the natural element into a deliberate and cruel enemy. The word knive suggests a sharp, penetrating pain akin to being stabbed, which intensifies the sense of aggression and malice. This portrayal underscores the relentless and brutal nature of the environment, making it as threatening as any human adversary and amplifies the vulnerability of the soldiers. This depiction of the wind as an active assailant heightens the soldiers' sense of exposure and helplessness, reinforcing the poem's theme of the pervasive and inescapable suffering of war. Another important point of language analysis to note is the use of alliteration throughout the poem. The poem reads, "Sudden successive flights of bullets streak the silence. Less deadly than the air that shudders black with snow, with sidelong flowing flakes that flock, pause, and renew, we watch them wandering up and down the wind's nonchalance." In this quote, the use of alliteration with the S, and W sounds serves several key purposes. The repeated S sound in "sudden successive flights of bullets streak the silence" mimics the hissing and whizzing sounds of bullets cutting through the air. This sonic imitation brings the reader closer to the auditory experience of the battlefield, creating a sense of immediacy and realism. The repetition of the F sounds in "flights of bullets" and "flowing flakes that flock" feels sharp and jarring, mirroring the soldiers' constant exposure to sudden threats. This alliteration helps to create a closed-in feeling, as if the soldiers are surrounded and trapped by the incessant attacks and the oppressive weather. Finally, the W sounds in "we watch them wandering up and down the wind's nonchalance" convey a sense of weariness and resignation. The soft, almost sighing quality of the W sound points towards the soldiers' passive observation of the snowflakes in the wind, highlighting their helplessness. The poem's regular pattern of 5 lines per stanza reinforced the idea of an endless cycle of waiting, enduring harsh conditions, and facing the ever-present threat of death. This structural repetition mirrors the unchanging and bleak nature of their existence, where each day brings the same unrelenting hardships and offers no respite or hope for change. While the stanzas are orderly and regular, the content within them describes a world of relentless frost, death, and suffering, seen in "frost will fasten," "shriveling many hands," and "puckering foreheads crisp." This contrast underscores the soldiers' helplessness, as they are trapped in a situation where the only constant is their suffering. Now, let's examine another important structural element in the poem. Owen frequently uses ellipses, which are 3 dots within the poem, to convey a sense of incompletion and ongoing suffering. For instance, in the lines, "Wearied we keep awake because the night is silent," low, drooping flares confuse our memory of the salient. The ellipses at the end of each line create a sense of uncertainty and incompleteness. The trailing off of the sentences suggests that the soldiers' thoughts and experiences are fragmented and unresolved. This mirrors the disjointed and indefinite nature of their existence, where their waiting and suffering seem never-ending and without clear resolution. Moreover, the ellipses introduce a lyrical pause, encouraging the reader to reflect on the soldier's plight whilst also slowing down the reading pace. The reflective tone induced by the ellipses invites contemplation on the broader implications of war. Thus, the use of ellipses contributes to this sense of suspension, underscoring the poem's exploration of the psychological impact of war and the endless wait for change or relief. Wilfred Owen uses the language device of personification to depict the natural elements as hostile enemies, highlighting the soldiers' vulnerability and relentless suffering. Alliteration in the poem mimics battlefield sounds, creating a sense of immediacy, claustrophobia, and the soldier's weariness. Looking at the poem's structure, the poem's uniform stanza structure reflects the soldier's monotonous, unchanging daily reality and underscores the theme of futility and stagnation. Additionally, Owen's use of ellipses conveys a sense of incompletion and ongoing suffering, mirroring the soldier's fragmented, unresolved experiences and inducing a reflective tone. Great work today! See you next time! Watch the rest of the GCSE English Literature course at Sophos Education.